Here's something you need to hear. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. There are people in your life right now, friends, coworkers, even family members, who are quietly draining your energy, holding you back and keeping you stuck in patterns that no longer serve you. And guess what? You don't owe them an explanation. We've been conditioned to believe that cutting people off is harsh, rude, or even selfish. But let's flip that mindset. What if protecting your peace, your time, and your energy is actually an act of self-respect? What if the real mistake is allowing the wrong people to take up space in your life for too long? Here's the truth. You don't have to justify your growth. If someone makes you feel small, if they dismiss your goals, if they constantly bring negativity into your world, you don't need to debate it, explain it, or fight to be understood. You just need to step away. No drama, no confrontation, no long-winded conversations, just a quiet, firm decision to move forward. And when you do, you create space for the right people, for clarity, for peace, for the version of yourself that's been waiting to emerge, free from the weight of those who don't align with where you're headed. This is not about being cold or unkind. It's about recognizing your worth and making choices that reflect it. So if you're hesitating, if you're second guessing, let me remind you, you don't need permission to protect your energy. You don't need approval to walk away. The people you surround yourself with have a direct impact on your mindset, energy, and progress. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay, and not everyone deserves access to you. Some relationships serve a purpose for a season, while others are meant to last. The problem arises when we keep allowing people into our space who bring negativity, doubt, or distraction. They might not be outright toxic, but they subtly undermine your confidence, drain your energy, or hold you back from stepping into your full potential. We often feel obligated to maintain relationships out of guilt, history, or a sense of loyalty, but just because someone has been in your life for years doesn't mean they deserve a front row seat to your future. If they don't support your growth, if they make you second guess yourself, if their presence feels more like an emotional burden than a source of encouragement, it's time to reevaluate their role in your life. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's necessary. You have goals, dreams, and a vision for your life that requires focus, clarity, and the right environment to thrive. When you keep people around who constantly pull you in the wrong direction, it slows you down. It makes progress harder, and worst of all, it keeps you stuck in a cycle of frustration and doubt. You have the power to decide who gets access to your time, attention, and emotions. When you start making choices based on what serves your well-being rather than what pleases others, you'll notice a shift, less stress, more confidence, greater clarity. It all begins with understanding that not everyone deserves a seat at your table and having the courage to act on that truth. Cutting people off has a negative stigma attached to it, as if it's cruel or heartless. But in reality, it's an act of self-respect. It's a statement that says, I value my energy, my peace, and my future more than I value keeping toxic or draining connections alive. When you continue to allow the wrong people in your life, you send a message to yourself that their comfort is more important than your well-being. And that's a dangerous mindset to live in. You don't owe anyone endless chances. You don't have to keep explaining yourself, hoping they'll finally understand why their actions hurt you. People who respect you won't require repeated explanations. And those who constantly disregard your feelings or bring negativity into your life aren't going to change just because you keep tolerating it. At some point, you have to draw a line. Respecting yourself means recognizing when a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a family bond, or a professional connection, has run its course. It's about prioritizing your mental and emotional health over the fear of being judged or misunderstood. You don't have to make a big announcement, cause a scene, or justify your decision. You just have to silently distance yourself and move forward. When you cut off people who drain your energy, you reclaim control over your life. You start making decisions from a place of strength rather than obligation. And most importantly, you show yourself that you are worthy of peace, support, and relationships that uplift you rather than weigh you down. Cutting people off isn't about being ruthless. It's about honoring your own worth and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Growth is a natural part of life, but not everyone around you will understand or accept it. That's not your problem. You don't have to justify your evolution to anyone. The moment you start improving yourself, whether it's focusing on your goals, setting higher standards, or changing your habits, some people will question you. They'll accuse you of acting differently, becoming distant, or thinking you're too good for them. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation for wanting more for yourself. People who are comfortable staying the same will always feel uncomfortable around those who are changing. Your growth challenges them. It forces them to reflect on their own lives. And sometimes they don't like what they see. Instead of supporting you, they might try to pull you back down to where they feel safe. They'll guilt trip you, mock your ambitions, or make you feel like you're being selfish for prioritizing yourself. But their reaction has nothing to do with you and everything to do with their own fears and insecurities. You don't have to convince anyone that your growth is valid. You don't need permission to level up. If someone truly cares about you, they will celebrate your progress, not resist it. The ones who try to hold you back are revealing that their connection to you was conditional. They liked the version of you that stayed small, predictable, and convenient for them. Your only responsibility is to keep moving forward. Let your actions speak louder than words. Some people will fall away naturally, and that's okay. Growth requires letting go. You are not obligated to stay the same just to make others comfortable. Keep evolving, keep rising, and trust that the right people will align with you along the way. One of the biggest mistakes people make when distancing themselves from others is feeling the need to explain, justify, or argue their reasons. The truth is, you don't owe anyone a debate about why you're choosing to protect your peace. You don't need to sit down and have a long conversation convincing them why you're walking away. You don't even have to announce it. The most powerful thing you can do is step away, silently, firmly, and without drama. When you try to explain why you're cutting someone off, you open the door for arguments, manipulation, and guilt tripping. Some people will never accept responsibility for their behavior. They'll twist your words, make themselves the victim, or convince you that you're overreacting. Instead of getting trapped in a cycle of endless explanations, recognize that not everyone deserves closure. Some people knew exactly what they were doing when they disrespected you, drained your energy, or failed to show up for you. They don't need another chance to justify their actions. They need to experience the consequences of losing access to you. Walking away without confrontation isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about choosing peace over unnecessary drama. It's about refusing to engage in pointless discussions that won't change anything. Actions speak louder than words. When you stop responding, stop engaging, and stop giving them access to your time and energy, they will get the message. This is about protecting yourself. You don't owe an explanation for prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being. If someone was truly meant to be in your life, they wouldn't put you in a position where you have to consider cutting them off in the first place. Instead of trying to justify your decision, simply make it and move on. When you remove the wrong people from your life, you create space for the right ones. You clear out negativity, distractions, and unnecessary stress, making room for clarity, peace, and meaningful connections. But here's the thing. Until you let go of what no longer serves you, you won't fully realize what's possible. Many people hold on to toxic or draining relationships because they're afraid of being alone. They convince themselves that having negative people around is better than having no one at all, but that's a lie. When you keep people in your life out of fear, you block the opportunity for better relationships to enter. You settle for less than you deserve. And worse, you allow people to occupy space in your mind and heart who don't genuinely support you. Letting go is uncomfortable at first. You might feel a temporary emptiness, but that emptiness is necessary. It's the space where healing happens. It's where self-discovery begins. And over time, that space fills with better things: peace, confidence, and relationships that align with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. You'll start attracting people who respect your boundaries, who support your dreams, and who uplift you rather than drain you. You'll feel lighter, freer, and more in control of your life. Your energy will shift, and you'll realize that you were never truly losing anything by walking away. You were making room for something better. This isn't just about cutting people off. It's about creating an environment where you can thrive. When you remove negativity, you allow positivity to flow in. When you stop entertaining drama, you invite peace. And when you finally step away from what's been holding you back, you open the door to everything that's been waiting for you. Trusting yourself and taking action is the final and most crucial step in this process. It's easy to recognize when someone is draining your energy, bringing negativity into your life, or holding you back. The hard part is acting on that realization. Too often, people hesitate because they second-guess their feelings. They wonder if they're overreacting, if they're being too harsh, or if cutting someone off is the right thing to do. But deep down, you already know the answer. Your instincts, your emotions, and even your body tell you when a connection is no longer good for you. The key is learning to trust that inner voice and acting on it without hesitation. When you delay making the decision to walk away, you prolong your own suffering. You give people more opportunities to drain you, disappoint you, or make you question yourself. Every time you tolerate toxic behavior, you reinforce the idea that your peace is negotiable, and it's not. The moment you decide that protecting your energy is non-negotiable, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission, you stop seeking validation, and you start taking control of your life. Taking action doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't have to explain yourself, make a big announcement, or engage in unnecessary conflict. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply remove yourself, quietly, firmly, and without looking back. Block the number, stop answering the texts, distance yourself without guilt. You don't owe anyone a performance. Your decision to walk away is enough. The sooner you act, the sooner you'll experience relief. You'll feel lighter. You'll have more mental clarity. You'll be able to focus on the things that truly matter. And most importantly, you'll prove to yourself that you are capable of making the hard choices necessary to protect your happiness. Trust yourself, take action. Your future self will thank you. At the end of the day, your life is yours to protect. You don't owe anyone endless chances. You don't have to explain your growth, justify your boundaries, or seek approval for prioritizing your peace. The people who truly belong in your life will respect your evolution, not resist it. And the ones who don't, let them go. Silently, firmly, and without regret. Cutting people off isn't about revenge, resentment, or proving a point. It's about recognizing your worth and making choices that align with it. It's about choosing your future over your past, your peace over your guilt, and your well-being over the comfort of familiarity. It's about realizing that holding on to the wrong people doesn't make you loyal. It makes you stuck. And when you finally let go, that's when everything shifts. You create space for the right people, the right opportunities, and the right energy to flow into your life. You start moving with confidence, clarity, and a sense of freedom you didn't even know was possible. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Trust yourself. Act without fear. Walk away without looking back. You don't need permission to protect your peace. You just need to decide that you're worth it and move forward like you already know.